Excellent.
Yeah.
We'll start the interview off as I start all interviews. I'm Matt. I'm a punk enthusiast, and you are?
G'day, I'm Warwick. I'm a punk enthusiast.
And I'm Reese. I'm a punk enthusiast. How's things?
Good. Excellent. Just seeing that Red Cross t-shirt. Have you heard much of Mark Welsh's stuff?
No, man. I'll have to check it out. It's good.
Yeah, his solo shit's fucking mad.
Awesome. I'll check it out.
All right. The name, where did we get that from?
We had a few names that we came up with, and yeah, I don't know, we just had a list. And that sort of one from the list, between the three of us at that stage. There's that many ideas floating about, and we prefer to make people laugh than anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the name definitely does that. I had fucking pissed myself when I first read it. And it's, I don't know, do you get like people going, who the fuck's Harold Holt?
Yeah. We had someone was telling me, my sister was saying she was wearing the shirt one day, and she had a backpack of random people asking what it was about. I've had a few people, there's a weird generational thing where people just have no idea who he was.
No.
Get that random message from it's like his nephew.
Yeah, true.
Messaged us one day, and we we're just like, here's my uncle, and we're like, oh crap. And that was as far as it went. We're half waiting to hear, like, knock it off, but we're just like, no, nothing else. So
excellent. So obviously you two guys met at home. Rest of the band, have you been friends for a while?
Yeah, well, our lead singer, he came, I met him at work. We're both like firefighters for the Department of Environment. So,
well done, brother. Good. Thank you for your service.
Oh, no, mate, it's a job. We get paid. We enjoy it. But, I've known him for, 5, 6, 7 years now. And then we played a gig without a bass player where we were playing the guitar through a bass amp and a guitar amp, and just didn't have enough punch. And our singer's mate said, oh, would you mind if, I came and played bass for you? And I was like, yeah, no worries. So, yeah.
And it all happened.
Yeah, that's it.
What's going on?
I guess playing with people, I could really, I couldn't care what a skill level of people is. And don't get me wrong, like our bass players are better guitarists than I am, but I just want to be in a group of people that I can put up with their shit, basically, because I've played with people that annoy the piss out of me. And I don't care if you're the world's greatest guitarist. If I can't sit in a room with you for 12 minutes without wanting to, and I don't want to be in a band with you. And so all four of us, obviously we've known each other forever, but Bloody and Dave, I think we can piss each other off and turn around and everything's okay. And that's all I want to be able to do, because I don't do this stuff to pay my mortgage. I do this stuff because it's fun. Get a bit of shit off the liver, all that sort of stuff. That's what we do it for. It's the vent. That's what we need to do. So I don't want it to be any more stressful than it needs to be. So
no, of course. Well, if an up and coming band came up to you and said, is it worth it? Is it worth it? What advice would you give them?
So what do they mean? Was it worth it? Like, it depends what you want to get. Yeah, what you want to get out of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, for me, it's worth it because at times it's the only time I get out of the house, and it says, now I'm playing the drums, I get to beat the shit out of them and, get a sweat up and stuff and go home feeling pretty good. So, for me, definitely worth it. Bloody oath, if you got the love for it.
It's weird. Half the time, the number of people I play, because my work is a non-music thing altogether, they find out I'm playing a show and I'm like, how much should you get paid? And I'm like, one, it's got to do with you. But two, it's like the bloke who plays footy on the weekend, they don't turn around and go, how much did you get paid? And all this sort of stuff. Like a lot, I've made okay money on some shows, but we've played a show, I think, for a lot of shows not getting paid. Played one show for $7.80 one night. That was a big one. But it's not what you do it for. So if that's what you're after, then shit, no, don't do it. But if you want to express yourself, if you want to get out, if you want to meet new people, if you just want to do something that not everybody in the world gets to do, you can go for it. Like, you know, as we grew up in friggin' Dubbo and then a bloody small little bloody town that nobody's ever heard of after that. If you had told me when I was at like high school that we'd get to play some of the shows we've played with some of the people we've played and the places we'd have played, I would have told you talking shit. So for that, it's like definitely go out and have a go. Like, I mean, have a crack. If you don't like it, stop.
So you more or less, it's if you're in it to become a millionaire, don't bother.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If you're in it, you know, because you love it and you enjoy it, bloody do it.
Yeah. Have you heard of and I've get interviewed today, but I'll bring it up again. Have you heard of Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
What's what's your thing?
I don't know. My kids listen to his music and shit, but I just think he got his ass handed to him in the rap business, and now he's like, you know, good on him. Whatever, he can make money off it, but it's not my thing. You know, you pick up a guitar and you know use some old Blink 182 riffs and sing some pretty basically poppy lyrics. It's not hard to do, but mate, it's not my life. It's his. If he wants to do that shit, up to him.
Well, that sort of pop shit, pop punk and that, like I'm really not into, but like he's done it for me, man.
Yeah.
Since the movie Dirt, where he
you watched that.
Yeah.
when he played Tommy Lee in that movie, and then seeing the interview with Tommy Lee about how Machine Gun Kelly played those drums himself, and like you got to give the guy a bit of a on the back, you know. Fucking.
I was saying about like there's a lot of I have a lot of people that hit me up going, "What do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy?" And it's the thing I always say, it might not be for me, but good on you for doing it, because like that's what Warwick was saying and shit. He's clearly popular with people because he's making cash. He's doing all right. It's not for me, but I'm not going to shit on other people's stuff because like. I guarantee you there's a shitload more people in the world that listen to our stuff and go, those guys suck. So
Definitely. Yeah. Favorite decade of music.
swapping out drummers kit. That helps.
Yeah, well, I think he might want to play music, you know.
Drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. What your favorite decade of music? I know I asked this earlier in a different way, but
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Look, for me, like I guess a lot of the 90s for me is awesome because of, I guess, the age I was. You know, it's the stuff, I guess, when you're a teenager and going to that's what you're listening to. You've got that, you know, the memories and stuff that are going on because of that. And there's still plenty, like, you know, there's still plenty of that stuff I listen to. There's still a lot of shit, as always, that came out. But the stuff that I liked to listen to was great then. And there's a lot of those bands I still listen to if they're still going or go back to it. I mean, there was plenty of great stuff, you know, in the 80s as well, same as long. There's a lot of, it's a bit weird. I think like people sort of, if they ask you about the generations you listen to or decades you listen to, if you say the 80s, they instantly think of like, you know, Ross or somebody like that. They don't think about, you know, Descendants or Black Flag or those sort of guys that are kicking through, Bad Brains, that sort of stuff that are still floating through. So, yeah, I guess that anywhere from, I guess, the 80s to the early 2000s, there's a lot of great stuff just probably because of, I guess, the history of it too. But, yeah.
It's good how you said Descendants and Black Flag because Bill played drums for both.
Yeah. He wrote most of My War for Black Flag as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was you don't get it much in bands, but he was actually the front man, really.
Yeah.
the Descendants, definitely 100%. But yeah,
Just even seeing him now, like you watch him drum, and he's a big guy, and it looks like he's doing nothing. Like he's sitting almost like his arms are doing so much stuff, but his body's just kind of in one spot, like just there. And it's just, he's a bloody good drummer.
have you watched Filmage?
Yeah.
What a fucking movie, man! And like, well, I was pissed as when I watched it, so I don't remember much of the actual movie. But they spoke about things that, like, I've been into the Descendants, oh God, since I was 12, 80, fucking 81, 82, something, I think, 83. Anyway, and they brought up so many things that you go, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I did not notice that, you know, and it's, yeah, I think when you bring up the Descendants, it gets me into a bit of a thing, because like, well, these, you see them now, you got 65-year-old punks up on stage just fucking kicking it, man.
That's the only, we were lucky enough, we were at that No Sleep Till Melbourne. So their first time they were in Australia. I've seen them a few times since, and it's bumped into Milo in the crowd, and I'm just like, I got a sense tattoo on the back of my leg. I love the guy, so bumping into him, I'm just like, I just don't. And you can just see a look on his face, just like, oh, another one of these blokes, be a nice bloke. But they're just same. When you watch them, they're still doing what they're doing, and it's.
And you see they're having fun too.
Yeah.
That's a big part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a slog. They're just not up here banging out the songs. And they're still writing new stuff as well. So, they're not just a band coming back playing their first two albums because they went really awesome. Like it.
And even though all they did was change vocals, and Descendants are totally different.
Oh, that's it.
And even, watching that film, H, there's the big thing about no change really, one singer, but there's this weird thing of like where people are like, I know that many people where like Descendants are great, all shit, and just like, how can you like one so much and hate the other one when there's a different beast in some of the albums and stuff, but there's not. I mean, they're the same guys.
Oh, so glad my wife's actually going to do the shopping, so she's taken the Loud kids with her. I've got two of the daughters in the back room just going fucking being good for once. Like, they don't want to have anything to do with me. And then as soon as I start doing interviews, it's like, dad. Like, fuck,
No, they always pick the time. It's not till you're busy or doing that little bit of something you want to do for yourself. Then all of a sudden it's like, I need this now.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but the radio station I-98, where Wollongong, they hold a convoy thing each year where like a bunch of trucks go to, and then they've got bands at the venue when you get there. And just before COVID hit, the last one, I was there and with the family, and there was this country singer lady up on, and she was fucking rocking it, man. This country singer chick, she did Convoy, did a lot of that sort of era of music. And I had I think she was 10 at the time, or 12-year-old, had her on my shoulders, and she was getting in the band, and everything was fucking mad. And then the Veronicas paid, and it was like, but my 8-year-old at the time really wanted to sit on my shoulders and get into and I'm standing there and like fucking she's moving me a bit. And then the last band came on, the Hoodoo Gurus. And my 8-year-old at the time said, Dad, put me up on your shoulders. And I yelled out, love you, Dave. And like he put a big smile on his face, and they played all their fucking their old shit, like you know, not 1,000 miles or they're wipe out and all that sort of stuff. Would you guys, would you play at a benefit gig? Would you?
Well,
We
yeah.
did last night.
Yeah, we put all the money last night's gig. Yeah, it was all flood stuff, but yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anytime I can do something for other people, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, so you're both going. Excellent. Bitches, man. I'm going to Taylor's.
Teenage girls.
It's and nah, I'm not getting into it.
What that one's doing?
Oh, I hear they come back again.
My didn't try.
In the oven off, actually, you just put a shitload of food in the oven. Now, can
It's safe to do like this.
I'll reheat it when you get back.
What's do like this way?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Who mainly songwrites?
It's just shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes I can't riff, sometimes he will, sometimes Fuzz will.
Yeah.
Like, I'll write a lot of the lyrics, but Dave's he's writing his own lyrics and that now. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's all of us, I suppose. Yeah.
There's a lot of time it's good saying said, I might write a bit of a riff and I just get completely stuck, don't know where to take it. And then I think our Facebook chat between me and him is just almost runs of just videos of guitar or something. Where he'll be filming something, what do you reckon of that, or vice versa. And it's kind of good because it'll just be like, here's something that's like, that's awesome, but what do you reckon about this? And just doing little tweaks and yeah, having Fuzz come in as well with the bass. He's been sort of doing a lot more as well, where I think early days he was a bit, didn't want to say anything, but we're just constantly trying to go, if you have any ideas, mate, say it. He's opened up a lot more now, which has been great because
Excellent.
it's just that thing of just,
Many hands make light work.
that's it.
I'd say you've only got, do you guys at all share vocals or you just got the one vocalist?
No, Fuzz, our bass player, man, he's got a wicked set of lungs on him. So like, yeah, he does backup vocals for Dave and stuff. Like, yeah, he can. As Wayne would say, he can freaking wail.
A bit like a lot of with a lot of the interviews I've had, people have like said it's kind of like Rancid. Like we kind of, you know, salt and pepper.
I'm on it.
You complement each other. You do that. You guys are in it because I've listened to a fair bit of your music coming up to this, and I don't know. It sounds like there's more. The vocals are not just one person. Like the vocals change unless whoever's singing for you has got fucking amazing set of lungs that can like change from.
Put your name
think-
on it.
In most of the stuff we've recorded, there's Fuzz has got backup vocals on it, and then even that 7-inch we put out,
I want you to.
I recorded that in our house. Yeah,
Wow.
so bits and pieces of that was there is a little bit of doubling up on Dave's vocals in different spots because even when I was putting stuff together, I'm making shit up as I go when it comes to recording stuff. So sometimes I'd just be like, I'd accidentally put 2 bits of Dave's vocals over the top or something. I go, that kind of sounds cool, and just leave it. But the basic part of it, you hear sort of those sort of backup screams, and then Fuzzy's doing some add-on stuff to it as well, just to fill it out a bit, which has really helped getting him on doing that. So
Oh,
Who would you as an Australian band, who would you really like to support? Like, would you who would make your fucking dreams come true? Who would
Australian bands or
Australian bands?
yeah,
Yeah.
Hangings, be good.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that's it. I like, I've had a crush on Adelaide since I've been a little kid. So get to play with Magic Dirt, it'd be freaking awesome. And then, it's hard. Yeah. They're not Australian, but like, if I ever got a chance to play with Shead, that'd be freaking sweet too.
They're more or less Australian.
Oh, that's it. I think he lives over here for a bit of the time now. And I think the last album he talked about was all written about living in Australia and stuff.
License the rule anyway. If New Zealand does something good, they're Australian, aren't they? So,
But then you've got Australia doing good music, and America takes it on and says, "Yeah, they're ours."
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Oh,
What do you reckon with vinyls? As what genre would you put the vinyls in? Because I put. Okay, they haven't got the beat music ability as a punk band, but I put them in that genre. Well, Chrissy would probably be one of the best punk fucking front women. She was one of the best, and I bring her up a lot in the interviews. So I've got to get my editor to knock out a few.
well, I think
Yeah.
just even like the attitude she puts forward, I think helps put her in that sort of punk field, I guess. Like, you know, and I think that's one of the things of, you know, you're never going to bring up that old question of, you know, what do you think punk is? Because it's just, I don't know, like, you know, is it the Ramones, or is it bloody, you know, you look at all the crap that was coming, not crap, all the awesome stuff that was coming out of like LA, everything that was, you know, you look at what, you know, Minutemen doing something, or then 2 seconds later you got like, or Red Cross, you know, in bloody lycra jumpsuits doing something, playing in the same bloody lineup as Black Flag, scaring the hell out of people, you know. But now I think as time's gone on, it's just like, no, these are the rules. This is punk. This isn't punk. And it's just, I don't like putting labels on stuff. It's like, you know, play whatever you want.
I don't know if you've heard it. You probably have. The Owen Guns, their song, Is that punk? Is this punk? Is that punk?
Yeah. That's it.
Sean really has it down pat. Like, you know, it's like, fuck. I say it's punk. It's fucking punk.
No, that's
Like,
it.
you know, you say like roses are red, violets are blue, shit, fuck, cunt. That's a poem. If you say it's a poem, it's a poem. It doesn't have to rhyme.
What is it? I'll give you a poem. You're a bitch. You're a cunt. Fuck off. I'm going to the pub.
That is one of the best movies.
Right.
And Magic Dirt doing My Pal.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Everybody,
She had that song.
Mark of Cain doing bloody Degenerate.
yeah, on that soundtrack. That was awesome. Yeah.
And I thought, please don't be angry, people, but I thought that was better than X. I really did.
I like them both. I really like them both. Depends what mood I'm in for. Like, yeah. No, definitely. I think I probably like them more because I heard Mark of Cain before I heard X. It was Mark of Cain that I went, oh, that's someone else's song. I better look at these mob. Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Great movie. So fuck, we're nearly going through every. I've got to start making up questions now. How about actually you tell me some of the mega moments that you've had being in a band, like, you know, in the studio, just like, do you guys, you've each got different bedrooms, do you like send him a little tune on the phone and go, oh, like in COVID, did you guys Skype each other, the band, saying, listen to this, ding. Oh,
yeah, we did. Like, 'cause we're in, you know, live in different houses and that. So, yeah, we're always flicking videos and stuff to each other of riffs and that. And then I was lucky because he hasn't got a missus or anything, so I was able to be his social bubble. So I could actually come over and pick up a guitar and bass and have a noodle and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's never been any big moments. Sometimes it's like, oh fuck, that riff's sweet, you know, and that sort of thing. But no, like, oh, this song's gonna be big. Like, we're very, I don't know, always sort of put ourselves, it's like, nah, they're all shit. Let's write some new ones.
Fair enough. Who made you want to drum? Who was that drummer that gave you the incentive to want to pick the sticks up?
Yeah, I don't know, because I was really young when I got my first drum kit. I think it was in year 5, 6 or 7. So yeah, back then as a kid, you know, in the early 90s, it would have been probably like Alex Van Halen, Lars Ulrich, or like Charlie Benante. They were my just big three, and like Lars not so much anymore, but like Charlie and Alex definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I started playing guitar in our other bands. I was the guitarist, and like this band, sort of, we lost our drummer, and I went, oh fuck it, I'll jump back on, and having a ball with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And with you, what made you want to?
Oh, with guitar and stuff, it was a bit weird. Our parents, thankfully, always sort of pushed us into playing instruments. So I was 6, got sent to play guitar with I think it was pretty cool. It was with Leo DeCrew in Dubbo, who was part of the DeCrew brothers back in the day, who were playing like 6 O'Clock Rock and all that sort of the shows. I mean, so they had a couple albums and stuff, so that was kind of cool. And then it was really weird because I actually got pushed into doing the whole classical guitar thing. So that's what I was playing for years, and then actually got more into music sort of later. Once I guess I discovered, electric guitar and power chords, and I could forget all the skillful stuff and play the fun stuff. But even I guess like growing up with what Dad was pushing on us, there was a lot of like just Chuck Berry, seeing that sort of stuff back in the day. Like you can't not listen to a Chuck Berry song, see him playing guitar, and it's, what he started basically, just doing what he was doing.
What was on your parents' stereo when you were growing up?
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Mum didn't listen to much music, but with Dad, it was all like, our dad's like, so he's a bit older. He was born in the 30s, so yeah, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino. Like I've got a Johnny O'Keefe tattoo on my leg.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, Jerry, all that, like real 50s rock. Not much Elvis and stuff. Like really, mostly all the other sort of fellas like that. So I suppose, well, I was the black fella was playing black fella music and not white fellas trying to rip it off.
Well, that and even that Chad Morgan.
Yeah, Chad Morgan.
You know what? I was on my, and this is the first big day up. I was hitching from the Gold Coast down to Sydney to go to the first big day out. And this guy, Matt, his name was, same as me, picked me up hitching. And he goes, where you going? I said, oh, I'm going to Sydney, going to the big day out. And he goes, that's in 5 days. Do you want to the music, fucking hell, Tamworth Country Music Festival.
Oh, shit.
And I thought, yeah, I wasn't like growing up, like my mum loved country. But I thought, yeah, fuck, I'll give it a go. It's like now, when the COVID hit, it's like you go, we'll bring them up again. A live act, you go to the Wiggles, you do anything because years of no live act and shit. But anyway, he picked me up and he talked me into going to the Tamworth, and I had the fucking best 4 days, I think it was, of my life at this music. Like, I mean, every pub had someone playing at every time, every corner of the street, there was a busker.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there at the bar at this one pub waiting for Chad Morgan to come on. And fucking sitting, waiting, and people come up and started playing guitar, and yeah, Chad will be here soon. He was passed out in another pub down the end of the street. But I ended up getting, at that gig, I ended up buying a CD of Chad Morgan, and fucking excellent, man. Like, that guy knows, he really knows what he's doing. Like, and Cole Elliott was Cole Elliott was playing at the pub where Chad Morgan was passed out at. And like everyone heard, oh, Chad Morgan's down that, blah, blah. And so I bought the CD. I think it was a record. No, CD. Bought the CD and went down to the pub where Chad Morgan was, thinking, oh, he's going to play there. He's probably a bit confused. Whatever. But Cole Elliott came on, man, and like it got having my mum into, like, because my dad was a piss head and my mum was a music head. So we got to see a lot of bands growing up, me and my sister. And yeah, the country music she played, it was like, okay, yeah, all right, because she always had ABBA and Racy and all that in with it. But saying, yeah, like country music is, I think, a collection of at least 4 or 5 genres of music.
Yeah.
And that being like that being a an influence is like, it's a big thing.
No, I think you're talking about like sort of seeing like we didn't see many live bands as kids until we got older ourselves. So like I think the first sort of band we ever saw were lucky was like back in the day in New South Wales. They had the world's biggest barbecue, and we lived across from the footy oval in Dubbo where they're having it, and actually walked across and watched this band and stuff, and went home. Mum, Dad, I saw this band. They're pretty awesome. No, who were they? I don't know. So they looked in the paper and it's like, yeah, it was Billy Thorpe. I'm like,
Wow,
so like, yeah, I was just like, shit, that was lucky.
nice, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. And how old were you then?
bloody primary school age.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
I'd have been like maybe 8, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I was 6 or 7. I was in when, because mum and dad always, because he was a pisshead, he loved going where there's going to be alcohol and music, and my mum loved music, so we went to like Narara, Under the Southern Stars, all those kind of things when we were growing up, and we went down to the Sydney Harbour, and they had a stage out on the water, and it was the Ted Murray game. They came on first, and I was only a kid. I can remember it was either AC/DC went on next with Bon Scott or John Paul Young, or John Paul Young went on next, and then there was AC/DC with the headliners. But like that was like, because of my parents, my dad wanting a drink and my mum loving music, we got to go to a fucking show, and it made me have such a love of music and a love of any genre of music. Like I tap my toe to the Ted Murray gang, and do a little bit of a dance to AC, all that sort of shit. And at Narara, there was fucking Split Ends, the Vinyls, we had the Radiators at our school dance. I can always remember that night too, because like they did give me head, but they did it in a way where our principal was still pissed, had that fucking look on her face like she was shattered. Why didn't I listen to this band before I put them on our school dance? But my fucking light won't turn on. It's one of those push, there we go. Yeah. So then what was it that, like, really, I know this question I've probably asked you about 3 times, but what was it that made you want to be in band? What was it? Okay, you said the fun of it.
I used to
Obviously not for the money.
bands and stuff, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and went to a couple of shows, and we were driving home from the show, and she was going, "It looked like you didn't enjoy it. It looked like you were going to school or something." And some people say it's like when I'm watching a show, I'm getting into it, but I might not be dancing around. But I'm watching every time I used to see a show, I'd be watching everything they're doing on stage, and I'd be watching and this is before we're playing in bands, and I'm just like, it was like I was going to school. It's like, I want to do that. And then it got to a point where I'm just like, we were always, as kids, were mucking around. When you first get a recorder or whatever, when everybody gets some stuff, we'd be mucking around with that. And then we got instruments and we'd be mucking around with that. And then we both got that whole thing of just parents who supportive as far as getting us to teach instruments, but at the same time, very much, you've got to go get a job, you've got to go do this. So I went down went to uni, got the job, did all that sort of stuff. And my life was pretty, I loved music, but I'm going to work every day, doing this sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, let's muck around with instruments, let's see what we can do. And so I guess we were a band because we were all sitting in a lounge room jamming. And then a mate of ours literally had someone come into his music shop saying he was looking for a band.
Oh, wow.
He told them, these guys will play for you. We'd never played a show before, none of that sort of stuff. And you got a text message at the pub going like, you've got a show in I don't know,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I think we had 2 or 3 songs written. So we had to finish writing a set's worth of songs in this amount of time. And then did it the first time, got on stage, shat myself, probably did a complete and utter crap job. I don't think I made eye contact with a single person. I was in the crowd. I still remember there was a Carlton Draft beer sign on the back wall of the pub. I don't think I broke eye contact with that sign the whole gig, and walked off stage just going, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
Keep going. And that's the thing. Every time I've played a show, if I thought I played like shit or if I was nervous or worried or something, it was always like, I want to do the next one. I want to do the next thing. And it's something we always say. It's like, there was always a list of things when we first started playing. Oh, how cool would it be if we could do this? How cool would it be if we could do this? We've done all that already, and we still haven't done shit in the grand scheme of things, but our levels were so low, I guess, of going like, when we were just mucking around in the lounge room going, oh, geez, how great would it be if we could play a show? And all of a sudden, I've done that. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And I just think it's, especially these days, like my life's pretty regimented. This is what I get to do, where it's not going to work every day. It's not just, drive to work, come home, drive to work, come home, drive to work, come home. Sweet, we've got a gig. We get to do this sort of stuff. This is awesome. And I guess
It's it gives you something. I love my life and that, but also gives you something to look forward to and that. On the weekend you're going to get to come here and have a jam and write some songs and that. And the following weekend we might be able to go somewhere and play a gig, and it's that buzz you get from playing a gig or being there and getting to see other bands that you haven't seen and finding new music and all that. It was. Yeah, I don't know. It was also, you'd get home from a gig that you went and saw someone, and you're like, man, fuck, I feel good. Imagine how frigging good I'd feel if I was the one up there playing it. Like, it just, it's the buzz.
Do you ever find or think, fuck, it's going to my head? Does that ever come into the equation? Oh my God, it's coming to my head. I've got to fucking touch base with Earth again.
No, you're looking at the most self-deprecating people you've probably ever met in your life. So no, never.
Anytime someone comes up to me and says, I enjoyed that show or that sort of stuff, in my head, I was like, oh, I thought I played like shit. Yeah. Like, doesn't matter how good we actually played any of that, I walk off stage going, oh, fuck that up.
High expectations. You got high expectations.
Yeah, dude, yeah, that's it. And this, I think that's the way we're brought up and stuff. And it's like, someone tells you, oh, you're awesome and that. I'm just like, I don't know how to take compliments and stuff. I'm just like, oh, thanks heaps. Like, yeah. I'll be quiet and walk over here now.
Yeah. So if okay, you got to make the band up. This band comes to you and says, we need a drummer, and the next will be you. Do we need a guitarist? Who'd you love to play for? Who would you like come in your pants kind of thing, say, oh my God, I get to play with these guys? Who would it be?
Shit.
Hello.
It's hard because I'd be too anxious and shit to play with anybody. Like, I think of all these people, but I'm just like, yeah, I'd be too anxious to, but like, I don't know if someone like,
like I think I'd love to play for like the Descendants, but at the same time, again, if I was, I'd just be sitting there looking at them going like, I shouldn't be up. I'd just be the weird guy in the corner kind of forgetting to play because I'm like, that's the Descendants. Like, so.
And it's just like, and even like this, I think it's the sort of thing too. Like, we had a bloke come in the old band, and I was playing guitar, and as a second guitarist, he was a mate we'd known him for years, and he came and had a jam. So there was another guitarist in the room, I just went, oh fuck, man, I'm really shit. Like, you know, and he's not pointing out, but he's showing me how shit I am. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, drums for anybody. Yeah. I really, honestly, I can't answer it.
No, it's fair enough. I'm just making this shit up as I go along
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah. What's your mindset when you're about to go on stage? Is it just keep it together, or actually we'll go back to the last question first, because I want to ask a question. Imagine being in the Murder Junkies and having to take the place of G.G. Allen. Like, okay.
I can't take a
So-
jump on command.
That's it. I haven't that close a relationship with bananas either.
I like bananas.
Not like that, you don't, mate.
I like bananas.
There's an actual band. They're an Australian band. They don't actually. It's on YouTube, but they don't name the band. It's just these two guys that look like Ned Kelly, one on drums, one on guitar, and this long-haired dude on bass. And they do "Bite It, You Scum."
Yep.
And I'm not a GG fan. I'm a Murder Junkies fan. Like I love the shit that they like. They were great. But this band kicked ass over whatever GG could have done. Like, but the question is, yeah, could you take Lars's position? Would you feel all right to play drums for Metallica? Would you think, oh shit, I'm not as good as Lars, or
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I think. But I know, if someone said they wanted to have a jam with me, I'd be like, yeah, far out. Like, shit, I can't, you know, it's a once in a lifetime sort of thing and stuff like that. You can't say no, but then at the same time, you're like, you need to get someone who can actually play to come do this shit for you.
So, okay, you were asked by Lynyrd Skynyrd to play guitar. Do you think you'd be comfortable in doing that?
Yeah, look, I'd have to have a go, because like you don't want to be sitting in a pub one day telling a story like, oh yeah, I was going to play Lynyrd Skynyrd one day and I said no. Like I'd give it a go, but I wouldn't feel comfortable.
It all depends if I had to fly there or not.
Yeah.
So, tell me some funny stories.
Oh shit, that's a hard one.
Tell me about-
We're at our old band, our lead singer. Like, we used to do the singing in the old band originally. Neither of us can sing for shit. Mate of mine, who's our singing now, was pissed at the pub one night and he goes, oh, I can come sing for you. You're fucking right, done, no worries. Happy to. Next gig we played, he was going to come sing for us. He'd practiced with us and that. He sat out the front shitting himself for 15 minutes. So we played 2 or 3 songs and that. And then he finally came in and did it. And that was awesome. You know, he pulled out, he's a great front man and that. You know, he got the courage and did it. And then another night, he had to go, unfortunately, put his dog down on a night we had a gig. So I said, oh shit, we've still got to play. So it was me and him having to try and remember these fucking lyrics we hadn't sung for ages and that.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point, man, I just walked up to the microphone. I right, I said at the bar, oh, there's some cunt there ordering a fucking beer. That guy's going to have a dart. I just like, fuck, I don't know, that'll do.
Yeah.
We did. We played a show in the old band with this Israeli guys, Elephant Hive. They were pretty bloody cool. They're an instrumental group. Really, you should check them out. They're bloody nuts. But they're both these 2 Israeli vegans, and they come to Bendigo to play a show. And at the end of the gig, it's middle of the bloody night, and they're in Bendigo, and they go, "Oh, where can we get vegan food from?" And I'm like, "It's Bendigo, like midnight, mate. There's like McDonald's." I don't like your chances, but we're walking around. There's one of those like the hole in the wall that sell kebab bloody places. So take it there, and this guy's gone, "Oh, have you got vegan options?" And the guy behind the counter, yeah. And he goes, "Oh, are they actual vegans?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Because our vegan option's not vegan. We just tell pissed people it is." So in the end, Dave, our singer, walked into a restaurant, and I don't know what bullshit he fed these guys, but he convinced this restaurant to reopen to cook a vegan meal for these two Israeli guys in the middle of the bloody night. And you could see these. He walked in the door, you could see everybody in this restaurant just pissed off because they're about to shut down. And 2 seconds later, they're happy, smiling, inviting these guys in. I'm like, what did you say? I don't know, I was too pissed. I just talked some shit. So, yeah.
Did you guys go see I Had People last night?
Yeah, we played with them.
Yeah.
Excellent. I've interviewed them. They're a fucking great bunch of guys, man. How was that? Was that your first time with them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually we're still working out the details and stuff, but we might be cruising up that way to play with them. We got to sort it out, so it'll be months from now if we do sort it out. But they're nice blokes, and their live show is mental. Those guys are tight as hell and just put on so much bloody energy. They were great. Like,
Mate.
yeah.
And what was it like? What was, did you feel you had to, how would you put it? Did you, we're going in, we're supporting I Hate People. Do we have to like notch up a bit or anything? Was it nervousness or?
There's a mate of ours he owns some of the practice rooms in town. He said something to me the other day, which is the way I've started thinking a bit actually. He used to play in a band. He said one of the blokes in his band used to say, he goes, doesn't matter if you play good or not, when you go playing in his set, you've just got to win bands. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's not even be the best band. You just go, yeah, we won bands last night. And he's like, what? He goes, you walk in, it's like, we want to outdo everybody. And so if you're playing with great bands, you might not be able to play as good as them, but I kind of think we lift, or, we always try to go in as good as we can. But and I don't want to, it's not me like trying to get a big head and going, I'm just trying to outshine these guys, because I'm not. They're shitloads better than us. Those guys are awesome. But I just sort of look at it going like, if we can even push to go a bit closer to them, then it's going to make us better.
Yeah. See, I could turn around and say, hey, you guys are in the same category as, like I've listened to your music, and I've obviously listened to I Hate People and everything. I could say, like, there's no we're the support band because we're not as good as. There's nothing like that. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel that we're supporting them, so they're better than us, obviously? Or do you think, well, no, it's their gig and we've been asked to be support band, so that's something good. That's uplifting.
Yeah.
I never want to, I don't want to walk into a gig going, I want to play not as good because I don't want to outshine the headlining act. I've never thought that. I always walk in, it's like, well, these guys are giving us a shot, so let's do as good as we can, because they're helping us out by putting us on the list, and people have shown up to see bands, and I don't want to walk in going like, I've been to shows where I'm like, man, the headline act was bloody awesome, and I've walked out going, that opening act sucked balls. And I never want to be that conversation. I'm sure we have been over the years where someone walked out and gone, they were shit, but guarantee it'll happen again. But like, I just think like, I want to do as good a show as we can. And I sort of think if you're playing with better and better bands, then you've got to make sure you rise to their level, because otherwise, what are you doing there?
Yeah. I understand that. Have you ever gone up on stage and gone and looked at the crowd and gone, fucking nah, they are gonna hate us, or these guys are gonna fucking dig us? Or have you had bottles thrown at you? Or
No, there used to be a venue in town called Music Man, and there's this 3-story venue, and anyone could play there, but they used to put these gigs on where it'd be an acoustic cover duo, then a death metal band, then a country band, and all this sort of stuff. And sometimes you'd walk in and I was singing, you'd just be playing with random shit. So there'd be strange crowds coming up. But I still remember one night we were playing on, I guess, the big stage. It was in the middle floor, and downstairs there's this country band that play BNSs and all that sort of shit. But they got this huge following, so they've just packed in of, like, you know, cowboy hats and buckles and all that shit in there. And we'd finished our set and we were carting shit through. And I still remember having to, like, cart guitars through this crowd of country fans. I think that's been the closest I've ever had to having my head kicked in at a gig, which cracks me up because people are like, oh, you know, metal and punk gigs, it's scary. It's scary. And it's like, it's the most supportive crowd you'll ever see. And I'm walking through all these pissed country fans who are looking at me because I'm trying to just bring a guitar through a music venue, and I'm looking at it going, I'm about to get my head kicked in by just you guys some pissed inbred people.
No, definitely. And it's a scary thing. Like, my cat just turned on the fan. That's fucking 1 second. Get off the fucking fan. Oh, mate, worse than the kids, I'll tell you. Would you rather be doing anything else with your life? Like, do you want to be a chef, a cook, brickie, or did you go, I'm going to be a muso, that's it, that's fucking my life?
Oh, mate, we've got day jobs, but
That's
you know,
true.
the musicians thing I prefer doing.
Yeah, look.
And I don't hide that from my boss either. She knows.
That's it. If I could do anything in the world, I'd just like to be independently wealthy. Then I could just do the fuck what I wanted when I wanted.
Have you ever said to your boss, here's a ticket, come and see us, your name's on the door?
Yeah, a few people from my, actually there's a few people from my work that were there last night. A lot of them have seen them. They sort of know what I do. They're actually pretty supportive about it, actually, which is good.
Yeah, that's it. Back in the day, yeah, all the blokes that I was on fire crew with used to come, and my boss used to come and have a look and that, like that. And it's like, the more the merrier. The more people we can pack into a joint, the better it is for us and for the venue.
Yeah. Being a fireman, actually, where I live, 2 houses down, the guy lived there, he was a fireman, and he said, if you've ever locked your keys in the house and you can't get in, ring the fire brigade and say, I think I've left the oven on.
Oh, shit.
And they will come and they'll open your door for you.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you want to watch, you can't do all that sort of stuff in Victoria. If you do that and they walk in, the oven's not on, you get big fines and stuff down here.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know about that. I remember at school, going back 40 years. Remember at school, if you got busted smoking in the toilets and the alarms went off, it was a $200 fine for the school. So, like, you got into a lot of fucking shit, man.
No, bloody oath, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. None of our darlings in that at school ever had smoke alarms in it. So
I went to a Catholic boarding school, so it was all,
oh, shit.
yeah. So, ever think of just putting out an album on a different genre?
Yeah, look, sorry. No, I've talked to him about it before because I'll write all other stuff and I'm like, shit, I think about putting some of this stuff out myself and having to play with it. But really want to concentrate more on the band stuff and that. Like, yeah. But kids just found the stereo remote, so I keep turning that up. But nah, look. Yeah, look, I'd like to have a crack at it. But that's the thing again, is getting the confidence and time to do it.
I don't think, you know, like I always love listening to Ween, who would, you know, a great bloody band, but one day they're doing a country album, next day they're doing a sea shanty album. Like, you never know what they were going to put out. And I think that was always sort of cool. And I think
That's mad.
Yeah, and I think we're sort of lucky enough that I think, you know, we're writing what we want to write. So if we do happen to write a song that's not what people consider a particular punk song, we can still play it because who cares, you know?
Okay, so you're a punk band, so you bring out a country song, right? Or a country album. Do you see that as selling out? Do you think people will see that as selling out, or do you think that's just?
I'm sure they will, because I don't think it takes anything for people to go, like, you know, it's like if you see the band at the local pub and all of a sudden they're playing the slightly bigger pub up the road, you got half a dozen dudes going, they're sold out. So
No, that's it. But like, yeah, I'm look, I love when people put different stuff out. You know, look, sort of stuff that like Kevin Seconds does, or like Xander Slosh and buddy Sean Wheeler and stuff. Like, you know, and now I've been listening to Fake Names for a bit now. It's like with Dennis Litson from The Refused and oh crap,
Brian Baker.
Yeah, Brian Baker's new band, you know. So like, you get, as everyone knows, you get older, you chase change, and also your abilities and shit change. You can't fucking play the drums at 180 beats a minute anymore. You can't be strumming the guitar flat out like that. Shit hurts.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, it's I think I don't see it as selling out. I think if a band's gonna okay, we'll go back to the MGK thing, the Machine Gun Kelly. He did. Was it you guys that was talking about Machine Gun Kelly? Or was that yeah, cool. Okay, we got Machine Gun Kelly. He did the rap shit. Okay, and in that rap thing, he had a great following. Okay, they were mostly female and under the age of 15, but he had a great following. And then he started this power pop shit. He grabbed Travis Barker from one of the worst punk bands in the world.
Still drummer.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Travis Barker at all, because he is one hell of a drummer, right? But he got, you know, did Machine Gun Kelly, did he sell out going from a rap artist to a pop punk artist? No.
No.
I don't think he did. I think he just showed his versatility.
He's a real smart bloke, like, you know.
Yeah.
Have a crack at different markets and that, you know, and he, you know, he's that, you know, higher sort of, you know, you'd say like pop level and that these days, the famous musicians. At the end of the day, since the beginning of, not time, but since the beginning of popular music, rock and roll and everything, songs are written for the 15, 16-year-old kids. They're the ones buying it. They're the ones listening to it all. You know? When we were kids, it was our type of music. Now our kids have got their type of music like that. So if it's not your thing, who gives a shit? It's someone else's thing.
Yeah. I've had my daughter come up and say, "Oh, Dad, you got to listen to this song, this new song that just came out," and it was "Heaven," Bryan Adams, sung by some girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, you know, I'm thinking, darling, I listened to the song when I was your age, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just funny how they, you know, like these people, they're bringing out the chorus of a song that we grew up in, but the verses are totally fucking 100% different.
Yeah.
So is there any, like, because you're brothers, like, is there any? I don't know. Do you because it's easier to argue with your brother than it is to argue with a bandmate.
Yeah.
Is there anything like that happening?
No, look, we don't really argue with each other. If we do, it gets over and done with pretty quick. But like, it's sometimes we're both pretty anxious people and stuff, and we'll be like, "Oh shit, you know, we got to tell, excuse me, Dave, our singer, this, or ask Fuzz that." We're like, "Oh, we don't want to upset him," and that we're always worried about upsetting people and shit, and we get so stressed and crap about it. And then like, you just actually talk to them, and it doesn't matter. But we've finished with all our fighting when we were younger. We punched each other up enough. Now it's just
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, the bar's just about to shut.
No, I don't think our computer's about to die.
Thank you so much for being on the show, man. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us, man. Thanks a lot.
Got no time to sleep it off, but it's great hanging out with you. Sharing drinks and sharing laughs, the stories and the lies. And if the cops come calling, you're my alibi. 'Cause I'm heading out hungover, there's things I've got to do. But if I could, you know I would stay hanging out with you. Yes, if I could, you know I would keep hanging out with you. Laughing, walking, singing, talking, and all that we could do. Sharing some laughs over the past and finding out what's new. Yes, if I could, you know I